Okay, Hare Krishna. Welcome to all the devotees in today's session of the Secrets of Bhagavad Gita. Today we are going to discuss Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, text number 31 to 35. First, I will read the verse and then its translation. And after that, we will discuss the purport line by line. Okay, uh, chapter 1, text number 31. न च श्रेयो न पश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Translation: I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Okay, purport. Without knowing that one's self interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such situations. The very first line is so deep that we need hours of lectures to understand that. So, whatever relationship we are having in our life, our purpose behind all our relationship, whether it is uh, uh, business relationships or social relationships or family relationships, all our relationships are centered upon happiness. And what our ignorance is that we do not realize that our actual relationship is with Lord Krishna. Uh, and in that terms, we should see other relationships. So, what does that mean? So, Lord Krishna is our real relative. He is our father, his mother, our creator, everything. So, when we understand that he is everything for us and the other living beings are his servants, so that's the reality, that's the actual relationship what we should have. And we should live by that relationship. But when we imagine something, uh, some relationship that does not really exist. For example, someone becomes a father, or someone becomes a mother, or someone becomes a son, etc. So there is always some time where they become uh, father or mother or wife or husband of someone. So that is the time. It's not that it was eternal, right? So, but that's just uh, that is not the case with Lord Shri Krishna. We are servants of Krishna, and it's an eternal relationship. Whereas the our family relationships or even business relationship or any other social relationships, uh, they have a start, they have a beginning, and sometimes they have an end also. So when things are temporary, they have a beginning, they have an end, then how could they satisfy us who are eternal beings? So that does not mean that we should not have relationship with all our brothers and sisters, but uh, the point is that we should not uh, expect eternal relationship in that particular uh, uh, this particular relationship. So that's the point Srila Prabhupada also emphasizes here, that our real self-interest is Lord Shri Krishna. So when we understand that and see other relationships in this term, that we have to relate everything with Krishna, to see everyone as a servant of Lord Krishna. And when we say servant of Lord Krishna, that does not mean something like a slave. That servant master relationship, what we see in our life, that should not be equated with the relationship between God and all living beings. That's just a uh, uh, tattva understanding that God is our master and we are his servants because we are dependent on him and he is the shelter for us. So, in only in that terms, uh, uh, we have to understand the master and servant relationship. Otherwise, uh, if you see the actual reality of that relationship, which is which is loving in nature. So God loves all living beings, and living beings, and then reciprocation, they serve Him, and God also serves His own servants. So there is nothing like someone is higher and someone is lower. That's only in our material sphere we see uh, such kind of distinctions. So here, whatever distinction we see in terms of master and servant, that is only for tattva understanding. Okay, continuing. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. So, when someone is blinded with ignorance, then he ceases to. Uh, I think there is some network issue here. Maybe I should change to another network. I'm changing my network to some another network because there is some network issue here. Okay, fine. Is it okay now? Okay, I think. Can you respond by chat? Is it the voice is clear now? Okay, thank you. Okay, continuing on. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. Again, when someone is blinded with ignorance, then he ceases to see any good thing told to him. So Arjuna, although he has learned in his Gurukula what is right, what is bad, and what is to be done, what is not to be done, and being trained as a Kshatriya, he knows his duty. However, but here uh, uh, he is bewildered due to his excessive material attachment, and because of that, he is not able to see his own dharma. So this is something very unexpected from a warrior like Arjuna. Of course, that's a special arrangement of Lord Shri Krishna to put Arjuna in that condition so that Bhagavad Gita could be spoken. But uh, such thing can uh, happen in our life if we act, if we remain on the platform of ignorance. Sometimes people say, we are always in confusion all the time, and we get bewildered by even small things. So the reason for that is ignorance. If you remain on ignorance, on the platform of ignorance, and uh, maintain our material attachments, then we cannot see any good in our life, even in material terms. So to be materially happy, also we have to act on the platform of knowledge, and the minimum platform of knowledge is dharma. So when we speak about dharma, it means varna and ashrama dharma. So everybody is classified into four varnas and four ashramas. Four varna, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and four ashramas, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. So these are four varnas, four ashrama. Lord has designed this varnashram system, and everybody is supposed to act uh, as per the laws given for varnashram. So Arjuna, being a kshatriya, is supposed to be knowing his role as a kshatriya, but uh, he's getting bewildered and getting frustrated because of his own ignorance, and uh, in other words, because of his own material attachment or excessive material attachment, he lost all sense of knowledge. So this can happen to us. So we should be careful in that regard. Next, it is said. Sorry, Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes for a kshatriya. It is said that two kinds of men, namely the kshatriya who dies directly in front of the battlefield under Krishna's personal orders, and the person in the renounced order of life who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture, are eligible to enter into the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. So basically, this is from some shastra that two candidates are eligible to enter the sun globe. In other words, higher planetary systems. So one is a yati, a sannyasi, who is cultivating knowledge, and other one is a kshatriya who dies on the battlefield following the course of dharma. So Arjuna knows this very well, that he's a kshatriya, and even if he dies on the battlefield, there is no harm for him. But still, he is not realizing this opportunity. That's only because of his material attachment. He is forgetting about all these things. Next, Arjuna is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. So that's a sign of a Vaishnava that he is very kind to all living beings. Adveshta Sarvabhutana Maitra Karuna Evacha. In the Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter, we see the symptoms of a Vaishnava. So he's Adveshta Sarvabhutanam. So he is non-envious to all living beings. And what is the sign of being non-envious to living beings? The sign is that he loves all living beings, because you love when you don't envy someone. That's a uh, point for meditation. Only when we do not envy someone, we love someone. For example, mother and children. So mother loves her children because she does not envy his children. But if you see any other relationships, wherever there is enviousness, there cannot be any love. If you take to husband wife relationship or whatever, so if there is an element of enviousness, there cannot be love. That's very clear. So that's a sign of a Vaishnava, Adveshta Sarvabhutana. So he is non-envious to all living beings. And Maitraha is a friend, Karuna Evacha. He is very compassionate. So Maitra and Karuna will automatically uh, will be followed. Once you do not envy someone, naturally you will love them. And when you love them, naturally you become friend to that person or become compassionate toward that person. So that's very natural. But the prime quality is Adveshta Sarvabhutana. One should be non-envious. And what is the sign of enviousness? The para utkarsha asahanam irshanam. So Acharya has explained that to not being to not be able to see uh, someone progressing. So intolerance to see someone progress. That is irshanam. That is enviousness. So If we see such kind of characteristic in us, obviously it is there. We have to meditate on ourselves and see where we are expressing this enviousness. So we can clearly see that when we feel this kind of enviousness towards anyone, we do not love that particular person. Now, uh, why we are mentioning, love separately? Naturally, in any relationship, we tend to love that particular person. Actually, love means unconditional love. Love does not mean that when you fulfill my desires, then only uh, I love you. That is not the definition of love. For example, it's the same mother and children. So mother loves her children unconditionally. So I'm talking about that particular love. So when we are envious towards any living being, we cannot have that kind of love. Obviously, we have some sort of feelings towards someone, but that unconditional type of love cannot happen without being non-envious to that particular person. And to be a Vaishnava, one must cultivate all these qualities. Okay, so Arjuna was certainly very kind to all living beings. He was kind to his not only his soldiers, but he was kind to the soldiers on the opposite side. He thinks that by killing his kinsmen, be there would be no happiness in his life, and therefore he is not willing to fight. Just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. It's a very simple analogy. If you don't feel hunger, why would you like to cook? He has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded life in frustration. So why he is thinking of going to forest? Not because of finding high truths, but uh, he's now completely frustrated, and because of that drive, that particular driving force, frustration, he's thinking of going to forest. So that's not even a proper drive for going to forest. So so Lord Krishna is observing Arjuna's reactions, and how he is analyzing this situation, and then suddenly proposes to go to forest. I think Arjuna is completely bewildered. So Krishna is watching all these things, uh, but as we later we see that Arjuna realizes that he's going crazy, and now he's not able to distinguish what is right and wrong. So immediately he bows down to Lord Krishna and begs him guidance. So Arjuna was educated enough to understand his own precarious condition. So that's also a lesson for us that okay, we may get bewildered. It's not unusual. But then what we should do? We should go to a person who is not bewildered and ask him. So that's the solution. Continuing. But as a Kshatriya, he requires a kingdom for his subsistence because the Kshatriyas cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. But Arjuna has no kingdom. Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins and brothers and reclaiming the kingdom inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. Therefore, he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live a secluded life of frustration. So Arjuna is experiencing a dilemma. What is that dilemma? That as a Kshatriya, he is supposed to get a kingdom. And to get a kingdom, he must fight. But now, on the other hand, you see that I don't want to kill my relatives because I cannot live without them. I'm attached to them. So, in these two situations, uh, What could he do? So he's getting frustrated because of the situation that he cannot fight, and he cannot even act as a kshatriya if he doesn't have a kingdom. So the uh, best course in this particular situation would be to not fight and just go to the forest. So that is Arjuna's situation, and he's expressing his frustration in the upcoming verses. You will see, Kim no rajena govinda, kim bhogai jivitena va, yeshamarte kangshitam no rajyam bhoga sukhani cha, ta ime avasthita yuddhe pranam tyaktva dhanani cha, आचार्याः पितरः पुत्राः तथैव च पितामहाः मातुला श्वशुराः पौत्राः श्यालाः सम्बन्धिनस्तथा एतान्न हन्तुमिच्छामि घ्नतोऽपि मधुसूदन अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतुः किं नु मही कृते निहत्य धार्तराष्ट्रान्न का प्रीति स्यात् जनार्दन. Oh, it's a long password. Some other. Okay, so we will cover only up to 34, text 34. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers in law, grandsons, brothers in law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of, o maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? So, we'll not take the text 5 because there is a lengthy purport for that, but we'll discuss up to text 34. So, Arjuna is expressing that uh, why he does not want to fight, because he wanted a kingdom so that he can share it with his relatives uh, and friends. He can have a good social exchanges between his relatives once he have the kingdom. But if he loses his relatives, then what is the gain just by having a kingdom? So that is Arjuna's argument. Generally, we also maintain social relationships, social dealings, uh, and try to get happiness from that. That's a material conception of life, and it is undeniable that so long we are not on the spiritual platform, we need to act on uh, material platform. So it is not possible to immediately jump over to the spiritual platform. So we may have social relationship. There is nothing wrong with that. But then we have to uh, perform our dharma so that we can be purified by our dharma. And when we perform bhakti, that is the highest dharma. So when we have our ordinary dharma, uh, combined with bhakti dharma, that will uh, quickly elevate us to the highest platform of spiritual realization. So in that state, uh, there won't be any objection to having any social relationship, because all our social relationship will be on the platform of knowledge. There won't be any trace of ignorance in our social relationship. For example, like husband wife relationship. So so long we are on the material platform, man needs a wife or a woman needs a husband. So that's something about material happiness. It's not uh, it's not an eternal relationship. To be very clear, it is not an eternal relationship. Of course, we have a commitment that life after life we will serve you, but how many lives? It's not that eternally I live with you, because the soul travels to so many species of life. So from the tattva understanding, it's not an eternal relationship. So then, what we are supposed to be doing? So we should recognize that it's a material relationship. Relationship. It is a relationship for the time being. However, we can make the best use of that relationship. So, where if we uh, s- uh, perform our dharma along with bhakti dharma, then we can benefit each other, and we can elevate each other in Krishna consciousness or in spiritual consciousness. So that's the advantage of performing dharma and bhakti dharma. So there is no need to artificially disregard that relationship just because it is not eternal. In one sense, this body was our relationship with this body, material body, that is also not eternal. That does not mean that we neglect the body, right? Every day we have to feed it, every day we have to decorate it, every day we have to take a bath and so many other things. So as there is Shari Dharma, so there are other dharmas, Matri Dharma, Pitri Dharma, Putra Dharma, Shishya Dharma, etc. So we have to follow Dharma along with Bhakti Dharma. So then we can purify all our relationships. So then such relationships will be in a purified forms. There will be pure relationships, and uh, Lord Krishna may maintain such pure relationship forever. So there is nothing wrong with it, because our enemy is not uh, some person or some man or woman. Our real enemy is our ignorance. Once we uh, conquer ignorance, then we realize that we are servants of the servants of the servants of the servants of the servants of Lord Shri Krishna. Dasa dasa anudasa. So once we realize this, then there is nothing like uh, this family and that family. We actually realize that we are a humble servant of Krishna's family, and that is everywhere. So that's the point. However, in the material conception of life, we tend to think in terms of own family or my own happiness. And that's what Arjuna is reflecting here. That we wanted all these things for our uh, to be able to share with our relatives. But if our relatives will no longer be here after this battlefield, then what is the point of just gaining this kingdom? So that is his argument, and it's the argument in ignorance, because anyone who is following the course of dharma would not argue like this. So Arjuna is bewildered because of his own material attachment, and Lord Krishna has arranged it. So definitely, Arjuna is going to play well in his role as a conditioned soul. So he is so frustrated that he keeps arguing for in the next few verses, and then uh, eventually he gives up. No, I don't know what I'm speaking. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I should do. So at least, fortunately, the end was good. That he realized that he has gone crazy. Okay, so I will end here. So if there are any questions, then we can take. Vidagta Pro, are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay, I'm also able to hear your voice.
If anyone has question, they can raise their hand.
Electronic hand, obviously. Okay, there are no questions, it seems. So we'll end here. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीमद् भगवद गीता यज्ञ की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण। थैंक यू सो मच।